Okay, guys, we are back for another episode of the Mystic Podcast. I am Strider Zero, as you guys know, and once again we are joined by.
Donitaly92. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, welcome to 2015. Not that you needed us to tell you that, but
I know it's been like 2015 for like 3 weeks now.
yeah,
So, but hope you guys weren't holding your breaths too long for us.
nah,
but so Strider, would you like to start us off?
yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say some of the bests of 2014, whether it was released in 2014, and some categories will be things that we've seen for the first time in 2014. And before we get into that, once again, Joint Mystic Forum, you'll be cool if you do. So, first on our list is Best Anime. So, do you want to start with that one?
I'll let you start off. I always talk more anyway.
Okay,
I'll let you have a chance.
so for me, it's kind of tough between Kuroko no Basket Season 2, Hunter x Hunter, and JoJo Stardust Crusaders, but I think I'm going to give it to Hunter x Hunter. I think they really released some of the best content in 2014. So yeah.
Well, a lot of the stuff that I was watching this year was it was like I was watching a lot of the stuff wasn't came out in 2014. Like I caught up with the Naruto anime this past year, and stuff like that. But if I have to say, like of the stuff that was released this year, whether it be, I would say at least of what I've seen was the Sword Art Online 2.
Mm,
I really liked. It was so it was done very well. I mean, unfortunately, unlike manga, light novels aren't translated as on the internet as much.
right.
So we don't have the source material to go by.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would have to say that was probably um let's see, what's the next one we're doing? Manga.
Yep.
All right. Manga wise, um, I mean, my biased answer is One Piece because it's my favorite. But in all honesty, Toriko. I think fantastic year for Toriko.
I have to agree with you. I have to give it to Toriko. Toriko was so consistently great this year, like last year.
However, the one thing that I was pissed off about, which we didn't cover since we were on break, was the fact that Toriko didn't even make the top 30 manga sales last
Yeah.
year, which pissed me off because it's such a great manga,
Oh
and
yeah.
most of the people it's been mostly attributed to the lack of an anime because the anime ended back in April and it wasn't doing a good job of properly adapting the material.
Right.
So if you haven't had a chance to read it, read it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now
And
this next
next,
one's gonna be a little tougher. Best anime opening.
yeah. Um, for me, I've seen so many different animes. There's a lot of really good ones in 2014. Like even One Piece, they had Wake Up, which
Oh,
was really
wake up
good.
was wake up was I enjoyed very much.
Hmm.
Very still not as good as my favorite One Piece opening 11,
Mm. Share the
but
World.
of course.
That's so good. I know.
Anyway, but yeah. Um, but as for other than the One Piece one, the only one I'm gonna make note of is it wasn't. I don't know if it was. I don't think it wasn't. Didn't come out this year, but I guess since it was the first time I actually saw this anime opening, and that was Dead Man Wonderland's opening.
Mm.
It was amazing and shockingly all done in English. It wasn't like they had an English version for the dub, but it was apparently it was originally done in English,
Ah.
which I thought was weird. And usually I'm not into like because it's like more of like a sounds like it almost sounds like a death metal, but not as hardcore, I guess. But it's very good, and the show was actually pretty good. But of course, just like most anime, it falls under the we don't cover the whole manga thing, which annoys me. But anyway, best non-anime TV show.
Wait, I
Oh,
didn't say
sorry.
what my favorite one was.
You said. I thought you did.
No, I was mentioning that Wake Up was really good, but
Oh, okay.
actually there's that. It's like for me, like the top ones were that Stardust Crusaders Stand Proud, which was really good. Croco no Baskets, something something Magical Star something. It was the opening I used for my first stream opening. Um,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
there was Fate's Day Night's first opening was really good. Oh man, I I'm giving it to Croco no Baskets opening. It was
Mhm.
okay. Next next category.
Yeah.
Best non-anime TV show doesn't have to be American, can be anything. Um,
Um. Well, actually, I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna, do two separate ones. Like I'm gonna do like a animated show and then a non-animated show.
okay.
Like I think the best, or at least despite what other people may say, I think the best animated show of 2014 that wasn't that wasn't an anime was Legend of Korra. It did so. I feel like it did. It yes, there's a lot of it was a lot of issues with it. People had with it, and there was a lot of issues, but I still felt like it did very well.
Okay.
And as for the non-animated show, yeah, that's a little more tougher. But it was I would have to say that um not even though I don't watch it, a lot of people saying how good it is. The Game of Thrones.
Mm.
I mean, I don't watch it, but I know a lot of people were saying good things about it in 2014, especially the death of a particular character that everybody hated.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, of course, you're always hearing about Game of Thrones and
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah. For
But
me, I think Walking Dead was better than Game of Thrones this year, but yeah.
anyway, so any animated shows that are noteworthy of 2014?
Well, I would say Korra, but it's the only
Yeah,
animated show of 2014 that I
that you want.
actively watched.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of all right. So best game
Released in
that
2014
was released in
first.
2014
Yeah.
for you.
Um, you see, that's tough because
You didn't play
I
any.
don't know if I played any games that were released in 2014. Oh, Ultra Street Fighter 4. The
Okay.
only game I played that's been released in 2014.
Oh, for me it's a tough one because I played a lot of I played the 2014 the Ninja Storm Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. There was both versions of Smash Brothers, which were very good. Omega Ruby, Pokemon Omega Ruby. Um, friggin' this year we. The thing that surprised me the most in 2014 is that we got two separate uh One Piece releases in America on the 3DS this year
Oh,
on 2014. And I think it was in like February we had Romance Dawn, and then we had Unlimited World Red in August.
hmm.
I, I didn't actually play that one too much because I was playing another game at the time, and I didn't want to get distracted because I was almost done. And then for like the longest time, I couldn't find it, and I just recently found it, but I'm in the middle of playing Pokemon still. So, but I'm gonna have to say for the best console game of the year, I have to give it to Smash Brothers. It was just it was just so much fun, and with all other characters, and it's just especially with Ike, it's just so much better in the Wii U as compared to Brawl on the Wii.
Uh,
And just in case you guys didn't know out there, Strider here is an Ike man. But in terms of handheld game, the like the honorable mention is the Smash Brothers 3DS. It was good, but the idea of the 3DS, like, I mean, it was obvious from the beginning. It should have been obvious from the beginning, but the idea of Smash Brothers is really more so fun with a group with two or more people. So unless and the only time you really are really good, or people tend to play it by themselves mostly when they're trying to complete all the little challenges and unlock all the characters and stages and music and whatnot. But as for a solo player game, it's not as fun, but it was still pretty fun because Smash Brothers is always a fun game to play.
Hmm.
But for the handheld game of the year, I'd have to give it to the Pokemon Omega, the Gen 3 reboots. They did so much to improve upon the game, not just graphically, but storyline wise, especially with like the added lore that they added in this game. It was just so much better, I felt.
Okay.
You know, so but anyway, that's best games that released 2014. As for games I played this year that weren't released in 2014 that I played for the first time was Fire Emblem Awakening,
Ah.
because I got that in Christmas in 2013, but I didn't start playing it until like February this year, past year,
Hmm.
and was definitely an amazing Fire Emblem game. The only see it's the only like it's not necessarily a complaint, but the fact is that you're one if you're not unless you're playing on the hardest difficulty, your characters just become too OP
Ah.
by the end of the game, especially when you can train. Like, I know how, if you guys have been watching Strider's stream on Twitch, on his Fire Emblem streams, he did. I've seen. I remember once he used the Coliseum
Yeah, probably once or twice in
once
the
or twice.
latest one.
But but the fact is that you can train so much more
Yeah,
because you
from the
can
menu, right?
because you can play, because what you do is you have to go on the map, and instead of, because the way it's designed, you choose the next chapter, but on the map, you but you can choose any other to replay any other map
Hmm.
and all the side quests and whatnot. So it's kind of like it's provides you with even more training,
Right.
and you can also, and the other thing was the fact that you can class change an infinite amount of times.
Hmm.
That, and basically get all the best skills, because I think you can have up to like 5 skills on your character. You could like customize your character to have the best skills in the game,
Right.
and then just go super OP on them. And don't even get me started on who, what, like on the children's system. Oh my god, like that was so difficult to figure out, because like if you wanted to try like figuring out, okay, which character should marry who, so that way you can get, so that, because the whole thing about the game is that characters from the future came back, or people from the future come back to help you, so that way the world doesn't become the way it is in the future. But a lot of them are the kids of the characters you have
Right.
from the present, so it's like interchanging them and whatnot, and the storyline, and that it'll determine what stats the kid has and what abilities they can start with, and it's just so complicated. I feel like it's friggin' Pokemon all over again, with competition. I feel like it's competition Pokemon,
Yeah.
because you know how detailed those guys get when it comes to competition Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
But or what about you? What non 2014 game did you play for the first time in 2014?
Okay. I have some good ones, kind of. I I played quite a few good titles in 2014 for the first time. I played like Dark Souls 2. I played a couple of the God of War games,
Mm-hmm.
but I gotta give it to freaking God Hand. That game was unbelievable. And it was hilarious.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you want to watch that playthrough, guys, it's on my channel, youtube.com/WhereTigerX. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So
then best film in 2014 for
that was
me
released in 2014.
goes to either Winter Soldier or uh, Battle of the Five Armies.
Okay. Um, for me, I'd have to say it was a tie between Days of Future Past and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
They were both like Days of Future Past was so well done, and the fact, and of course, it also gets bonus points in the fandom for erasing the entire events of the original X-Men trilogy and the events of the poorly received X-Men Origins Wolverine, and I think also The Wolverine, the sequel.
Hmm.
But those are solo films, so in terms of their interest and their universe, they don't give a fuck when it comes to the Wolverine storyline, solo film storyline.
Hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see how they proceed from here with the
Right.
X-Men franchise.
Right.
Um, but also, but for Guardians of the Galaxy, it was just like it was. Well, for one thing, it was a complete unknown because the majority of the Marvel Cinematic Universe viewers aren't don't read the comics, so they don't know who all the storylines or all the characters. So when they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy film, everybody was like, "Who are they?" But the fact of the matter is that it turned out amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is, this year, other than the Amazing Spider-Man 2, all I think, okay, sorry, most, the majority of the comic book films of 2014 were amazing.
Yeah.
I say most because you got Amazing Spider-Man 2, um, and then not all the comic book movies were Marvel either, though, because
Right.
there's other comics besides Marvel, but you know, and in a year that was supposed to be so good, there was also so many bad movies too.
Hmm.
Or and I saw a lot, like honestly, some of the most disappointing movies for me that I was looking forward to was, um, I mean, a lot of them are probably stuff I should have seen coming, like the fourth Transformers, Ninja Turtles was not well done.
So Michael Bay and Michael Bay and
Michael Bay. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was, I mean, I didn't really actually see the first one. I wasn't
oh
really
really?
that. No, I
Oh,
mean, I've kind of sort of seen it, but you know, didn't really, wasn't interested in enough to see the first one all the way through
huh.
from beginning to end. I've seen bits and pieces, but whatever. But the second one actually looked promising, but then it let us down again.
Hmm.
The only good thing, honestly, the only good thing I could say for that is that it puts the first nail in the coffin for that is letting Spider-Man come back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because if this leaves Sony with one film, Sinister Six. If they screw up the Sinister Six movie that they're planning on doing, Sony is done with Spider-Man forever, and literally, like they will be in so deep in red that they would have no choice but to give Spider-Man back to Marvel Studios and Disney. So yeah, that's the only um. Let me see. What were some oh so some but there were some surprises though. I don't know if you saw the that movie Chef
No.
with the guy who directed the first two Iron Man movies. Jon Favreau. It was he independently produced and directed that movie and starred
Oh.
in it. Because I mean, he only directs movies that he stars in,
Ah.
or vice versa, or both. He's not, and he doesn't want to be involved in the movie unless he can direct or and be in the movie or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, it was very good. But it was a very good movie. Had a stellar cast, and just like you would expect it, it's just like watching the Food Network. It's going to make you hungry because it's tons of good food being made in the movie. So if for any of you out there who's ever sat there and watched more than 5 minutes, watched even a second of the Food Network, you know what I'm talking about. That's why it's why you watch the Food Network, but it's also why you shouldn't watch the Food Network. But anyway, yeah. I don't know if it actually came out this year, but another movie I saw actually recently that I think came out in 2014 was The Other Woman.
Okay.
It was, my mom put it on, and it was actually a surprisingly good film because it's basically, if you guys don't get it, it's pretty much the same plot as the movie. What was it? John Tucker Must Die. One guy trying to bang three girls at once,
Oh
and it
boy.
blows up in his face, and then the girls try to get together, get revenge. But I think the advantage it had over this was that all the characters involved were adults, and it was a rated R movie. So I felt like they were able to go farther with it, and I think it was actually pretty funny. Which I wouldn't expect because I think it was. I mean, I believe it was intended as a chick flick, but
Ah.
whatever. Another one that a lot of people ragged on that I think was actually good was the Adam Sandler's Blended.
Okay.
It got heavily shitted on because Adam Sandler, he pretty much, because of the fact that it was a rehash of his same gimmick that he does in movies. And I'm like, well, hello. That's what worked with him. Unfortunately, the stuff that he did, the movies he did that everyone praises him for, that he did in the 90s, won't work now. He can't do that, Adam Sandler, now because it won't work. You can't produce those type of movies anymore. All the guys that are in the, unfortunately, Adam Sandler is in the PG-13 comedy. There's just too much competition in the R-rated comedies for him to succeed. It's just difficult because you have people like friggin' Seth Rogen and James Franco and Jonah Hill just killing it in the R-rated comedies. Even friggin' Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Oh, 22 Jump Street was amazing.
Didn't see it, but
all right. Anyway, so what about you? Oh yeah, you already said. What about were there any movies that you saw for the first time in 2014 that didn't come out in 2014?
I think the only one is like Coneheads, and that was great, but
yeah,
I think that's the only film I've seen.
Well, I've seen a lot of movies. I have Netflix, so that automatically means I've probably found random movies across Netflix that that came out in 2014. So, oh, we also forgot to talk about next. I would have to say is some of our favorite moments of manga / anime this year
Oh
in
yeah.
2014. So would you like to go first?
But yeah, let's take turns. We'll shoot out one moment going back and forth. How about that?
All right.
All right.
So you go first.
I'll start, and spoilers ensue. Just letting you all know for any anime and manga that we watch and read. Let's see. First, let's try to go with something. Try to go with something obscure here. Okay, fuck it. Byakuya one pretty much off paneling a whole bunch of Stern Ritter, and then showing him on screen with all of them just done. That was amazing.
Yeah. For you guys, since the last time we streamed, just to quickly note, I have caught up with Bleach, so we will now be able to review Bleach together. but since I just recently caught up to it, and which means I marathoned it, I can't remember what exactly was in 2014 or not. But it doesn't really matter. There was a lot of good moments from what I was reading in Bleach, but honestly, I think a memorable moment from what I was reading was friggin' Juan Bach versus that last um, captain of the Zero Division.
Yeah.
That guy, that fight was just. All right, your turn.
Hmm. Let's see. Um. Oh. Um. The the room switch Red Hawk combo from Luffy and Law.
Oh yeah, that was that was that was killer.
That was amazing.
Um, let's see. For me, I'd have to say, no, let's see. Another one would be also from One Piece. Would have to be the. I'd have to say the entire Law flashback,
Oh yeah.
because you can't just pick out one moment in that. It's all very good.
Yeah.
Quite possibly the best flashback of One Piece so far.
Hmm. We're
Which
avoiding
is fun. Which is
Toriko because there's too many.
what do you mean in Toriko? Toriko doesn't really have flashbacks at
I
all.
mean, too many good moments.
Oh yeah, Toriko has honestly, yeah, Toriko is just like all of it. But if we had to really highlight some of the, okay, that's even hard to say. But I have to say a couple of moments that are just off the chain was Toriko versus Hercules.
Hmm.
Um, we also another highlight would be friggin' the debut of the Mugen Kugi Punch
Uh huh.
was just it blew like before like now this was before the Area 7 arc, which is which practically every chapter blows our minds.
Hmm.
What we got the Mugen, which was out of nowhere, just out of nowhere. Like nobody expected that. We
Let's
thought that was like endgame stuff.
let's not forget Komatsu's heart getting crushed.
Not just
Ooh.
like literally just right through, like stabbed, like took their hand, forced it through his chest from behind with the heart in hand, and just showed it to them, and then squished it. That was just.
Hmm.
But like practically every chapter in Area 7 that they had this year was just off, like mind blowing.
Uh huh. Yeah, Toriko's just too good this year or 2014. But let's see what else from other stuff besides Toriko. Um,
um,
hmm.
what about well, we can't talk about 2014 manga and anime without talking about Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto. I was thinking about going there next. There was some pretty epic shit in. Oh, ooh, Madara off paneling Tobirama, where all of a sudden you just see him with chakra rods in his back, and
Oh
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh my. Oh yeah. Naruto also had a lot of good moments. You
Mhm.
know, you had friggin' Naruto versus Sasuke.
Mhm.
The friggin', and you also had I believe, oh, it was, yes, I know it was definitely 2014. Friggin' Eighth Gate.
Yeah.
That versus Madara. Oh my god, Mike Guy eighth gating Madara.
Hmm.
Such an epic fight. I can't wait for that to be animated. They better do that shit right.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we're currently in a filler arc.
Yeah. The scene where Infinite Tsukuyomi pops
Activate.
up and Kaguya's face in the background, just the scale of it was
Uh
just
huh.
such a great moment.
Yeah. Let's see. What are some other moments? Let's see. Other than Naruto. Well, let's see. Let's have some anime moments.
Mhm.
Um, in 2014 anime, we got some. We had the uh, oh, 2014 anime, Sword Art Online 2, when Kirito goes to rescue Shinon from a possible raping.
Oh yeah.
That was just crazy.
Asura-san. Yeah, and we can't forget Kirito versus Death Gun with some help from Shinon.
Oh yeah,
That was a
definitely.
good fight.
That was some good stuff. Uh, in terms of some of the best moments of the 2014 One Piece anime this year was the return, the initial, as quote unquote, dictees of Sabo's appearance.
Mm-hmm.
You also can't forget the Luffy versus Chinjao fight,
Ah.
which was amazing. And
Kakashi versus Obito in the anime.
oh yeah, that was also very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so much stuff. And Doflamingo versus Law, or Doflamingo versus Sanji. Friggin' let's see. So yeah, there was a lot of good stuff with that. Something else? Any other So yeah, I think that's just about it for best moments of anime and manga for the year.
Okay, I have one more,
Oh, you do?
and it's from Toriko's anime, and it was Star.
Yes, it was a good fight, despite the fact that it was heavily, and I mean heavily censored, as not as well as the outcome being changed
Yeah, the beginning of
slightly,
the.
slightly.
I meant the beginning of the fight. Just him yelling
Just
out
him knowing
Star.
that Star June's there and be like, Star June! Oh my god! I cannot believe it. We skipped out on the fairy tale manga this year. I cannot believe we almost forgot
Yeah,
that.
every moment with Gray. Done.
No joke.
And
No
Mark Gear.
joke. But you can't forget Lucy sacrificing Aquarius's key to summon the Spirit King,
Right.
and getting as of as far as we know, a temporary Aquarius boost. But we're all hoping that it's permanent
Mm-hmm.
because that would be awesome. She'd be more powerful. But that's besides the point.
Right.
All right. So, is there any other 2014 best of or worst of?
No, I think we can move on.
All right. So, uh, we apologize for the long opening, but we got a lot covered this week.
Yep.